Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a true crime story and we are indulging in McDonald's chicken nuggets, and I have some steaming hot cheese sauce. I have a ranch here, a honey mustard. I even have Chick-fil-A sauce because I keep that on deck at all times. I have a beautiful shrimp cocktail here. This is gonna be so good. If you're new to my channel, my name is Kina, and on Fridays I tell a true crime story while indulging in some junk food. If you love true crime or you just love eating in general, give this video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. We have a good time here. I also have a nice little pink cocktail that I made here. This is just some vodka with strawberry lemonade. Can I indulge? Can I indulge on this Friday and have myself a little cocktail? Thank you. Today's true crime is going to be about Belle. I've heard it pronounced Guinness and Guinness, but she was a woman serial killer from late 1800s to the early 1900s. So I'm very excited to tell you guys about her. But first, let's get a couple of bites in and then we'll get started with that. I've been craving shrimp cocktail for so long. It's just not one of those things that I really think about, but I'm a huge fan of horseradish and I really love spicy cocktail sauce. Ooh. That's to double them up. I remember my napkin today. Let's try our chicken nugget. We're gonna start in a cheese sauce. I find cheese sauce to be so interesting because fish is good in it, chicken is good in it, steak is good in it. Like, cheese is just awesome. This cheese is really spicy too. Oh. Another one. How are you all doing today? I hope you're all having an awesome Friday. Did you get paid today? God, I love paydays. That bite was extra spicy. I was ordering these chicken nuggets, and while I was in the drive-thru, there were some construction workers, and one of them came up to me, to my car, and told me my hood was open. I felt like such an idiot. And he's like, do you want me to close it for you? I was like, sure, that is so nice. Thank you, mister. Okay, Chick-fil-A sauce. Never fails. It's the best. Honey mustard. So good. Cheers. Happy weekend, you guys. Ooh. Oh, that's so refreshing. Strawberry lemonade and peach iced tea is like the definition of summer for me. Oh, wait, we didn't try our ranch. Okay, let me stop. My ASMR mic is gonna be here in a couple of days. Question, should I like black out my background like a lot of ASMRs do? Because I don't want to. I wonder if you guys will still find it aesthetically pleasing to have like my normal background just hanging out my room. Because I don't want to have to go through the whole thing of the backdrop and all that, you know? I don't want to. I don't want change. So Belle Guinness was a Norwegian American serial killer who was born November 11th, 1859. She was born in Selbu, Norway, and moved to the United States when she was 24 years old. Belle got married 1 year after she moved to the United States to another fellow Norwegian American man, and they owned a candy store. Now, Belle was a pretty smart woman. She set up an insurance policy in a way that would give her the most amount of money. So she had 2 life insurance policies, one that expired on a certain day and a new policy that would then start on that same day. So if she wanted to collect money on, say, a dead husband, she would want to kill this husband on that day, which is exactly what she did. She told the authorities that her husband came home one day from the candy store complaining about a headache. And so she gave him some pain relievers and he went to go lie down. When she checked on him soon after, he was dead. She didn't know why. Well, he had died from cerebral hemorrhaging, bleeding in his head, right? So she collected $5,000 from both those insurance policies. Smart lady. So, a woman who gets away with murder and rakes in $5,000, what do you think she does next? You got it. She's going to do it again. So in 1901, Belle is now 42 years old. Let me show you a picture of what she looks like. And she marries her second husband, and they purchase a farm in LaPorte, Indiana. 8 months after they get married, the husband's dead. Authorities come over and Belle tells them that he was reaching for something high up on a shelf and the meat grinder fell down, bashed him in his skull. Back then, I didn't have the, forensics and technology to really prove these people wrong. So her second husband died of an accident. She collected the life insurance money. She's getting pretty good at this. This is where things start to get really interesting. 7 years later, a man named Isle was looking for his missing brother, Andrew. He had found letters between his brother Andrew and Belle, chatting back and forth, Belle asking Andrew to come to the farm, to bring money, to relocate to the same town in LaPorte, Indiana, not tell anybody, make sure he keeps it a secret. So she was luring him in secretly and asking him to bring money. Bring money and don't let your family know that you're coming or where you're going. Like, that doesn't sound suspicious. So, since Andrew is now missing, Andrew's brother Isle decided to go to Indiana to this farmhouse and ask Belle, where is his brother? He's been missing for quite some time. What he found was appalling. The day prior to him getting there, there was a house fire and Belle was gone. In that house fire were also Belle's 3 children who were all under the age of 12. There was also a woman who was decapitated in that house who also burned with the children. That next day when Isle gets there, he and Belle's previous hired hands start digging. They see these small depressions in the ground and they start digging to see what it is. Sure enough, there were these little bags, like they called them gunny sacks, and inside the sack was a severed head, hands, and 2 feet. And poor Isle identified that head to be Andrew's, his brother's. So when you find a bag full of body parts, what do? They called the authorities and they started digging for more. There were bags of other body parts. I mean, somebody drained these bodies of blood, chopped them up, and neatly put them in these bags. Like somebody knew what they were doing. As this investigation went on, they found dozens of these soft depressions. Trash would lie over some of them, but they were just graves for these people. There were tons of missing men with families, and Belle would just lure them to her farm, rob them, kill them, and bury them at her farm. All these body parts of dozens of people. They stopped the body count. It's confusing because some of the literature says 11 and some says 14, but more than 10, less than 20 bodies were found. They couldn't identify the other bodies, unfortunately. Well, there's a twist coming. So we know by the time Isle arrived at the farm, Belle was nowhere to be found. Her house was burned down, her children's bodies were found. A woman that supposedly was her was found with the children but decapitated. And in a local newspaper, they praised Belle and said that she was a mother trying to bravely save her children in the midst of a fire. And that's how she died. But after the findings of the bodies, the media reassessed her story. There was a man named Ray Lamphere, Belle's hired hand and occasional lover. He's the one that confessed that Belle was placing ads seeking male companionship, waiting for the men to arrive, robbing them, killing them, and then his part in it all was the one who disposed of the bodies, burying them at the farm. He also confessed that the brother Isle contacted Belle and said that he was going to come and check up on his missing brother. He didn't believe her story, saying, "I've never seen him. If you see him, wish him well for me." He wasn't buying it. He's like, something's not right. I'm going to come down and see what's going on. So this Ray guy is saying that she freaked out. She had Ray burn down the house with her children in it, place another woman's body with the children so that it would kind of mislead the authorities and she could flee. I find that part kind of hard to believe, because what mom is going to say, "Oh, I'm in trouble, burn down my house and kill my kids"? I felt like if she didn't want her kids, she would have got rid of them sooner than that. I'm not buying Ray's story. Are you? Good, because he made a second confession. Ray gave a second confession, but confidentially to a local reverend. The reverend had his confession that was signed by him, because back then, I guess if there was some sort of confession like that, they'd have to sign a document. He kept it locked away in his safe. Well, a reporter was trying to get the truth and knew that the reverend had the true confession, but the reverend was like, "No, this is confidential." He didn't want anything to do with it. But as time went on, I guess he felt bad about the victims' families and wanted to give them some closure about what was going on. So he released this confession to the public and the paper published it. You know what it said? A whole lot. That's so good. Ray's second confession said that he killed Belle and her children with an axe and then set fire to their bodies and to the house. It gave details of the slaying and even his part in the former murders that happened on the farm. His task was usually to bury the bodies. So we have two confessions, right? Belle was a 200+ pound woman. The body that was found with the children was a 135, 145 pound woman. So there's conspiracy and speculation that Belle never actually died, that she really did flee. Belle was pronounced dead, but whether she died in the fire with her children or she escaped, it's a mystery. It's all dispute and speculation at this point. I will say, the farm later on became a tourist attraction. Imagine that. Police and investigators were digging for more bodies. Hundreds of people would gather around from all over the country, just watching the authorities dig for bodies. Hundreds of people. Concessions were sold, souvenirs were sold. It was a freaking circus. Isn't that disgusting? It was a different time. This woman really was the original Black Widow. That was one of her nicknames. I'm gonna get cleaned up and we'll be back for final thoughts. You guys, tell me what you thought about the story. You don't really hear a lot about women serial killers, you know what I mean? But isn't money always the motive for women? I feel like men will kill because they're just more aggressive, they're sick, whatever the reason may be, they want to eat them later. You don't really hear about too many female cannibals. Sure, they're out there, there's a whole community. But it just seems like women killers, they're usually driven by money, an insurance policy or something like that. So it seems. Also, thanks to everybody who participated in my Q&A post. I'm going to be answering all your burning questions in my next video. So if you didn't get a chance to ask me a question, you can go ahead and leave it in this video if you'd like, or you can DM me on Instagram. Either way is fine with me. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it so much. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, before I go, have you guys seen the little baby chicks that are outside? If you follow me on Instagram, I've kind of been giving updates on my stories. There's like 5 little eggs that were in a nest out on our front patio, and they have hatched, and the babies have been growing so well. They are resilient through the heat and the cold and the rain. I don't know if you care about stuff like that, but yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.